You don't change at all. Cry out now. Have you given up? I will never stop, yeah.
Hello and welcome into the Founders Club. I am your club president, Jeff Jared. And guess what, guys? This is the first time this has happened, so we are a brand new podcast. If you are new around here, this is a brand new podcast, and we're just getting started here. We're a few episodes in, okay? So we've got a few episodes in. On this show, what we do is we sit down every Tuesday at noon, we go live. So this is the Founders Club live, okay? This is a live show. Important to note for what we're about to cover today. And the fun part about the live show is that anything can happen. Okay, so you got to be on your toes because you never know. You got to roll with the punches, and so the topic of that's going to also go into the topic of today's conversation. We're going to have a short one here today. Okay, so here's the deal. We have no show. So this is the first time that we've come up on a Tuesday and we actually have, we technically don't have a show. So here's what happened. Our guest for today. So what we do each week, if you are new here, is we talk to people who have founded brands. Okay. So we're the Founders Club. We talk, if you're in the club here, we talk to people who have started brands, who are having success with that brand. And what we do is we have a casual conversation. We hang out, we goof off, we play some games, we talk a little serious business. We do all of these things Tuesday at noon, and it goes out live. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, and then the podcast version on Apple and Spotify and everything. The edited version is available after that. But here's what happened. Our guest for today runs a brand, a pretty good size brand, and they had a 911 emergency fire to put out and had to miss the show today. So I'm not going to tell you who it was. I don't want to throw them under the bus. They're a busy person. So from time to time, this will happen. So we've had a couple of near miss. We've had a couple people that at the last minute couldn't make it, and we were able to fill in one of our other guests who had committed into that time slot. But today it happened right before we went live. They said, "Oh my gosh, I've been dealing with this thing, and I've got up." They felt so bad about it. 1,000 apologies to me and to the audience here that they could not make it for today's show. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna roll on. Okay, we are committed. And by we, I mean this guy, me and you together. We're committed to just keep on keeping on with the Founders Club and just do this week by week. So here's what I want to do. I thought, you know what? We are a few minutes late here also because all of this is late breaking fun. But I thought, what if I want to encourage people? I'm going to get on here just for a few minutes, keep the podcast going. I just want to encourage folks who are running a brand or who are thinking, if it's just you're out there and you're thinking of starting something, okay? I want to just give you a little story time here, okay? This is a little encouragement, a little challenge, a little homework for you to do this week, okay? Before we get together next week, next Tuesday on the Founders Club, okay? Here's what I want you to do. Put yourself on the hook. Okay, so that's the title of this little TED Talk right here. Okay, is put yourself on the hook. So what do I mean by that? It's somewhat self-explanatory, but I want to tell you that when it comes to starting something, be it a podcast, a new company, a new brand, a new division of a brand that you already run, or a new effort. What I've found is so powerful, both for myself in all of the different things that I've had an opportunity to work on, but also for the people that I help with in my marketing life. So that's how I started this. If you're new here, I've been in marketing for 14 years, and I have met a lot of people. And what I've found is, you have an idea, you're talking about it, but once you put yourself on the hook, and that can look a few different ways. We'll talk about that here in a moment. But once you put yourself on the hook, it becomes real, okay? So it goes from idea to, oh my gosh, okay, we're in it. We're doing this thing now. And that can look a lot of different, that can take a lot of different shapes. It can be spending time on something. It could be spending money on something. It could be putting an effort into it. In the last week, for some reason, it seems this is a little out of the ordinary, but I've helped several people setting up URLs for ideas that they want to do. People come up to me all the time. Hey, I'm thinking about doing this. What do you think about that? And do some consulting with these folks and point them in the right direction based on just my experience and what I know from working with all these brands over the years. And when I do, I say, you know what? Let's go right now and let's pick out your URL, because one thing that we'll do, and not that this is part of the talk here, but it will help you come up with the name. So if you have a name idea, go on. I always recommend GoDaddy. Okay, this video is not sponsored by GoDaddy. I have just worked with a bunch of off-brand domain providers in the past, and it's always been something weird with them. So GoDaddy is always consistent. The pricing is low. And so for URLs, now they try to sell you everything under the sun, from emails to websites and everything else. I haven't had as great an experience with those other products, but if it's just the URL you need, go there. And but the point of this conversation is, going in and just finding the name of what you're going to be called and locking into that and buying that URL and saying, okay, I've got this thing. I'm going to do a 1 year or a 3 year or 5 year. You can buy, different increments, but just buying that, locking that in. Oh my gosh, it's mine. I have it. And, later you'll set up your website on it. You'll set up your emails to go through it. But that's one small way. Now, that's not a big financial commitment, because usually, unless you want something that's super expensive, typically a URL is anywhere from $1 or $2 up to, $14. So it's not really, in a way, that's not necessarily putting yourself on the hook, but that is taking a first step. But it could be an investment in your LLC. That's a few $100s, depending on what state you're in. It could be, making that first purchase of some equipment that you need to do the thing that you want to do. Getting some paperwork filed, some bank accounts set up. So all of these little steps that you need to take. But those are the things that put you on the hook to do it. And once you go out there, it could also even be as inexpensive as putting yourself out there on social, say going on your whatever channels you're on, Facebook and Instagram, wherever you're at, and saying, hey guys, here's the thing I'm doing and here's what I'm up to. And then it's just like everybody knows, and not that all of the people who know you or follow you are going to judge you for not succeeding at these things or failing at a thing that you're trying to do. To the contrary, they'll be typically very supportive, but it will make you feel like you don't want to let them down. So it'll make you go, man, I already said I'm going to do it. And I put out this big announcement that I'm going to do this thing. And I find that the value of putting yourself on the hook just means the world to the effort actually ever seeing the light of day. If you're thinking about doing something and you actually want to make it a reality, put yourself on the hook. Don't give yourself an out. Once you breathe it into the world, once it exists out there and people know about it, and you spent a little bit of money to try, get these first steps going, and you put some time and effort into this, now it can kind of become a thing. You can kind of start getting excited about it. Okay, it's not a bad thing; it's a good thing. You start getting kind of hyped, and you're like, "Oh my gosh, this is real now. This is really happening." And the excitement of that, that will carry you so far, and then it turns into work, and you got to make it happen. But just let that first step kind of fuel you, and let that excitement kind of fuel you through those next few steps that kind of get the ball rolling and kind of make it into something that persists. And so anyways, I just want to jump on here. Your homework assignment, if you've been thinking about it and you're like, I'm watching the Founders Club and they're bringing all these cool people on, and I'm hearing about all their stories. I'm learning a lot from it. I hope you are. Get in the comment section and let me know, what you like and what we can work on, because we are new and we don't know it all. We are learning as we go. But I will say, when it comes to, all these founders that are volunteering their time and so gracious to tell us what they know, these folks are busy. If you're just joining us, our guest for today got tied up at the very last minute and were unable to be with us. They are going to make it up in a future date. But we just want to say we really appreciate all the founders that we've talked to so far, and all of the folks who are committed to come on in the future. And sometimes this is just going to happen. When you're a busy person and you're running a brand, you're scheduled to do a podcast. And the fun part about doing a live podcast is, if that person isn't available, well, guess what? we're going to come on here and we're going to do something else. And that something else today is me giving you a challenge to put yourself on the hook, put yourself out there, make that first step, and commit to the thing that you want to do. If it's worth doing, you just got to put a little skin in the game. That's one term that people throw around is that, you got skin in the game. There's a reason for it to be successful. There's a reason for you to be interested, because before you do that, it's just a thought. Maybe I do this, maybe I don't. You're just kind of playing around. You're playing around, you're goofing around, but you're not serious. Take that step this week. This is, if you're looking for a sign, this is it. This is the sign. This is the sign to make the thing happen that you want to happen. Okay. You see it in your mind. Oh my gosh, this could be so successful. It could turn into this thing. Allow yourself to get hyped. Anyone who has ever built something that is that thing, something to aspire to, they just started at some point. And not that every venture that people, put their energy into turns into Amazon or Facebook or Google or something, like that. However, sometimes they do. And obviously there's a lot of successes between, nothing and, Facebook. There's a lot of levels of success between here and there. Not everything has to be the biggest company that ever existed to be successful. I talked to one of the founders that we have coming on soon is a solopreneur, which is a word just like an entrepreneur just by themselves. But their business, the thing that they do, lends itself to just one person doing it, a one-man band type of thing. And based on, it's a lady, and based on what her goals are and what she sees as success for her life, what she does by herself enables her lifestyle, like what she wants to do with her time and with her kids and with her family. That is success for her. Not everybody needs to have a huge team and trucks everywhere and a whole big, logistical situation and a bunch of people to manage. Now, depending on what you're doing, that might be the end goal. That might be the big success. However, not everybody has that as the end goal. So that, you don't need to have a world domination and make $13 billion a year to be a success. Success looks a lot different to a lot of people. And that's one thing that I've learned doing this for so long is some people say, hey, this is success for me. It's this, this, and this. These are the things that are important to me. And, outlining that, I don't want to give you more things to do that's not getting started, but outlining what success looks like to you. What do we want this thing to be if it was, the thing that, it could be? What is the top level of that look like? Or where are we trying to go with this thing, right? And obviously sometimes you don't know. When you start off, you don't know. It could be this, it could be that. What does success look like? But for you, in an ideal world, in a perfect world, if this thing goes where I want it to go, this is what that would look like. And just my word of encouragement, the sermon for today is to take the first step. Put yourself on the hook, either just with a close group of friends on social media. Again, making some investment into something that whatever it is that you're trying to do, you got to buy that XYZ widget to make your thing work. Start working toward that, but make a tangible step this week. Okay. So today is January 23rd. 2024. So by the time we get together on January 30th, next time we meet for Founders Club, you've taken step number one. It's the hardest step. It's the biggest step. And this is your sign. Okay. You're now called to do it. Okay. So make it happen this week. Just want to say thank you guys so much for the subscribing on all the platforms, for sharing. It just means everything to the show. Again, we are committed to make this thing happen. And sometimes the guests get tied up and they can't join us, but we soldier on. And like I say, I just wanted to bring you that word of encouragement. I was thinking, what do I want to share with the Founders Club today in absence of our guest? And that's it. Just make that first step and get out there and make it happen. So again, we don't want to tie up too much of your time today. This is a shorty. This is a quick one. This is a little quick hit. You just got old Jeff Jarrett here in the Founders Club giving you that encouragement. So hopefully next week we're going to come in here and maybe in the chat you guys can drop in, hey, I finally did it. I started and here we go and all that stuff. And we're all here as a community to hype you up and just to get you all, excited about it. So that's what we want this thing to be. We want this to be a community where we can learn from each other. We can encourage each other. We can spark creativity. We can add to our knowledge. That's our mission statement for the club. And if I can be any small part of that, then I feel like we will have succeeded. So I will wrap it up by just saying, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. Do all the things. Share it. And if you are thinking about starting a thing, this is it. This is the week. All right, guys. Thank you so much. And we'll see you for our regularly scheduled programming next Tuesday at noon with our special guest. We'll see you then.